Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Deputy Prime Ministers, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, and in a special way this morning I would like to acknowledge the presence of the trainee teachers from Corpus Christi Teachers College. Honourable Speaker, at the outset I wish to acknowledge the Honourable Semi Correlem Sau for the question he has tabled concerning the surveillance of Fiji's exclusive economic zone and territorial waters, particularly in relation to maritime drug trafficking. While his question is scheduled for response tomorrow, I believe it is appropriate through this ministerial statement to provide a more comprehensive answer. In doing so, I intend not only to address the specific concerns that he has raised in his question, but also to situate the issue within the broader security direction that government is pursuing, especially in relation to maritime security and the protection of our national sovereignty. I also recognize the Honourable Member's long service at sea, which gives weight to his continuing interest in this matter, and I welcome his contribution to the national dialogue on safeguarding Fiji's waters. Honourable Speaker, Fiji is a maritime nation. Our exclusive economic zone covers 1.3 million square kilometers, while our search and rescue region spans 6.5 million square kilometers. These are vast areas of responsibility, but they are integral to Fiji's sovereignty, economy, and to food security. The National Security Strategy, Honourable Speaker, endorsed earlier this year, recognizes maritime security as one of Fiji's highest priorities. It sets the framework for deterrence, detection, and disruption of threats to our maritime domain. To complement this, government is finalizing a maritime security strategy which will translate the vision of the NSS into operational guidance across all agencies. Honourable Speaker, the Republic of Fiji Navy has since 2017 modernized its approach to surveillance through a multi-layered system that includes 1, space-enabled detection systems to track vessels over vast ocean spaces, 2, regular surface and air patrols to maintain visible enforcement, 3, trial deployment of unmanned assets and platforms, pointing to the future of persistent surveillance, and 4, advanced analytical training and interagency governance frameworks. The future of maritime surveillance lies in uncrewed platforms and autonomous systems. These assets will allow Fiji to dominate its maritime space at lower cost, with reduced risks to personnel and with greater reach across our EEZ. In fact, we are in talks with the governments of Australia and New Zealand to acquire these capabilities full-time. Honourable Speaker, the most significant enabler of these efforts is the Vuvale Maritime Essential Services Centre, which began operations in April of this year. Supported under the Vuvale Partnership with Australia at a cost of Fiji $120 million. The centre is the largest single investment in Fiji's maritime security in a generation. It is not simply a building, it is the institutional heart of our surveillance and enforcement system designed to coordinate all national efforts at sea. The Vuvale MESC functions as Fiji's national coordination hub for maritime security. It hosts under one roof the Navy, the Fiji Police, Customs, Immigration, Fisheries, and other relevant stakeholders. This is a deliberate design. For too long, agencies acted in parallel, sometimes duplicating work, sometimes leaving gaps, that were exploited by criminal syndicates. The MASC eliminates those silos and replaces them with unity of effort. The Center ensures that, 1, intelligence is collected, analyzed, and shared in real time. A suspicious vessel detected by satellite can be flagged, identified, and linked to partner intelligence within minutes, not days. 2, responses within our EEZ are coordinated swiftly. Whether the responses requires a Navy patrol boat, an aerial surveillance asset, or a joint boarding team, the decision is taken collectively and executed without delay. And 3, resources are allocated with maximum efficiency. Instead of agencies competing for fuel, airtime, or patrol assets, the Center ensures every resource is directed where it is most needed. This integration means that no agency is left to act in isolation. The MASC is the place where Fiji coordinates its maritime security efforts and transforms information into timely operational responses. It is where intelligence becomes action, where surveillance becomes enforcement, and where Fiji asserts its sovereignty across a maritime space that is both vast and vital. Looking to the future, the Center is also designed to integrate unmanned platforms, autonomous surveillance technologies, and new aerial capabilities that Fiji is developing with Australia. This adaptability ensures that MASC will not only meet today's challenges, but will also evolve to counter the more complex threats of tomorrow. Honourable Speaker, the MASC is also a reflection of Fiji's partnership. Australia has been instrumental in its establishment, but Fiji also draws strength from cooperation with New Zealand, the United States, France, India, and China. These countries provide training, assets, and technical support that collectively enhance our maritime security posture. Through the Pacific Islands Forum, the Melanesian Spearhead Group, and the Pacific Fusion Center in Vanuatu, Fiji contributes to regional security frameworks that depend on trust and collaboration. The MASC strengthens Fiji's role in these arrangements, allowing us to share information and coordinate operations with our partners. Honourable Speaker, I wish to also inform the House that Government, in partnership with Australia, is developing a national air capability. This initiative is tied to the work of MASC, as it will ensure that Fiji has a persistent aerial presence over its maritime domain. Surveillance aircraft operating in coordination with the Centre will provide Fiji with the ability to dominate our maritime space through combined air and sea monitoring. Furthermore, the Prime Minister has announced that Fiji is exploring the possibility of a treaty or alliance with Australia that includes defence cooperation. While this remains at a very early stage of negotiation, it represents a profound opportunity. Such an arrangement would give Fiji extraordinary capabilities that extend beyond what is currently available under the Defence Cooperation Programme. It would present a generational step in Fiji's ability to safeguard its sovereignty. Honourable Speaker, I am pleased to inform Parliament that the Tuwale Maritime Essential Centre will be officially opened this Friday, the 3rd of October, at 11 a.m. This occasion will mark the formal commissioning of the Centre as Fiji's national hub for maritime coordination. At the ceremony, the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Richard Marles, will formally hand over the facility to our Honourable Prime Minister. This handover is not simply a transfer of infrastructure, but a demonstration of the confidence and trust that underpins the Buvale partnership. It represents Australia's commitment to stand with Fiji in protecting our shared Pacific Ocean, and it signifies Fiji's responsibility to use this capability in the service of our sovereignty and the security of our people and our region. When I met with Minister Miles last week, we both agreed that the centre should be known as the Buvale Maritime Essential Service Centre, or the Buvale MESC. This was not a casual decision, Honourable Speaker. This name carries meaning. Buvale speaks to the principles of family, solidarity, and mutual trust that bind Fiji and Australia. It recognizes that while the centre will operate on Fijian soil and under Fijian command, it stands as a joint achievement, forged through partnership and shared resources and common purpose. The naming also reflects our vision for the centre that will not be a closed institution, but a hub that welcomes cooperation with other trusted partners, and one that strengthens Fiji's role within the Pacific Islands Forum and Regional Maritime Network. In this way, the Buvale MESC symbolizes both national ownership and regional partnership. Honourable Speaker, the centre is already delivering tangible benefits across a range of national priorities. It is strengthening enforcement against drug trafficking, with agencies now able to track and intercept suspicious vessels with a level of coordination that was previously not possible. It is also supporting environmental protection by ensuring that surveillance data is shared to monitor illegal fishing, pollution, and the encroachment of vessels in sensitive marine areas. It further enables fisheries monitoring, which is critical to safeguarding the livelihoods of our coastal communities and the food security of the nation. Finally, it is safeguarding sea lanes that are the arteries of Fiji's economy, sea lanes that carry tourists, goods and services in and out of our ports. Most importantly, the centre gives Fiji the ability to act on timely intelligence. Intelligence is the lifeblood of maritime security. A vessel detected by satellite or a suspicious communication intercepted by a partner agency is only available if it is processed quickly and transformed into actionable decisions. In the past, intelligence often sat with one agency, and by the time it was shared or acted upon, the opportunities were lost already. The MESC has changed this. It ensures that all relevant agencies are linked in real time. If a suspicious vessel is spotted entering our EEZ, the centre can immediately, 1, verify its identity through satellite and maritime databases, share the information with customs, police, and immigration simultaneously, alert the Navy for possible interception at sea, deploy air surveillance assets to track its movements, and coordinate with international partners if the vessel has regional or transnational links. This means that threats are identified quickly and analyzed effectively and met with a unified and coordinated response. Criminal syndicates rely on speed, concealment, and gaps between agencies. The MESC closes those gaps. It takes away the advantages that traffickers once had and replaces them with a system where the state, acting collectively, is faster, smarter, and better informed than the adversaries. Mr. Speaker, I submit that Fiji is not only improving surveillance of its waters, but also transforming its entire maritime security posture. The Buvale Maritime Essential Service Centre is the cornerstone of that transformation. It operationalizes the national security strategy, paves the way for the maritime security strategy, integrates national and international partnership, and connects sea, air, and unmanned assets into a single coordinated framework. Its official opening this week marks a milestone in Fiji's defense and security history. With the support of our Bubala partners and others, Fiji has placed itself at the forefront of Pacific maritime security. The mask will remain a symbol of Fiji's sovereignty, a hub of intelligence and timely response, and a commitment to protect our ocean for generations to come. Honourable Speaker, before I sit down, I also wish to inform the House that tomorrow morning I will be launching the annual Poppy Appeal. It will be launched in the morning, and at around midday, I will be stationed in the Parliament lobby outside in the front with a collection tin at hand. And I encourage all honourable members to please give generously. Our veterans, as we all know, gave more than coins in their service to the nation. So it is only fair that honourable members part with more than coins in recognition of that sacrifice by our forebears. And Mr. Speaker, sir, members are, of course, free to disagree with one another in debate inside this House. But on this matter that I've just mentioned, it's a matter of generosity. I expect unanimous consent in this House. I will also note, Mr. Speaker, that when the honourable members pass through the lobby tomorrow, I will be watching very carefully how heavy or how light the tins become. Those who contribute notes will find me smiling widely. Those who contribute coins will hear them rattle louder for all to know that the coins are being contributed. And if any honourable member dares to walk past without contributing, I may be tempted, Honourable Speaker, to ask you to please call for a division in the House, right there in the lobby. And Mr. Speaker, sir, really to set the proper example in this House, I will of course be looking to your high office to lead the House in being the very first to contribute. And of course, Honourable Speaker and the honourable members of this House and anyone who will be present here tomorrow, for your charity you will be given a poppy. And this poppy reminds all of us about the sacrifices that our forebears, they gave their lives for our peace today. And I thank you, Honourable Speaker.